Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on your way in. And today we will be talking about oh, our favorite big to slim. I'm bitter, but I'm not really bitter. Content creator, Miss Real Talk with Yanni. So, first, let's go through why this is important. So, we have some black celebrity women who profess their love for black men, who say they only want a black man. We have some of our black celebrity women who aren't necessarily happy with their love life or their dating life. Um, what makes this, even more difficult because they earn so much or they have so much money, they kind of price themselves out the game in many ways. And then we have our real talk with Yannies, who use these people's lack of success to paint a different picture, right? So, lack of success in their dating life, not in their career. Clearly, these people are doing very well in their career, namely Taraji P. Henson. So, for those of you that click the link, you will see that Yanni did a review of Taraji P. Henson, pretty much saying how unhappy she is and where's her man, right? And this was clearly before her trip to Bali. And this this video is going to be not just about Yanni and her kind of misery digging, um, but Yanni subscribers. So in the chat box, in her comment section, those women who they want these women to shut up. Yeah, you heard right. They want Taraji to shut up. They want Carrie Hilson to shut up. They want women who are saying how unhappy, black women, namely, who are speaking about how unhappy they are, even though they're successful, even though they're rich, even though they're famous. They want these women to shut up because it's making other black women look bad and it's making other black women look desperate. You know, there's kind of a back and forth in Yanni's comment section because other women are saying, why can't these women be vulnerable? We want them to be vulnerable. And then when they give us the gift of their vulnerability, then we tell them to shut up, particularly because, it shows a level of vulnerability. No, let me tell you women this, if you don't realize it, but some of you already do, you're just acting dumb. The problem is they're waging a war against black men. They don't want black men to see that these famous, successful women are not happy. They have the money, they have the success, they have the fame, and they don't have a man in their life, and that's killing them inside. As a matter of fact, I screenshotted a woman's comments who said, yeah, she did the whole spiritual journey thing. And yeah, it allowed her to deal with the loneliness a little bit better, but she's still unhappy, right? Something I want to stress, this needs to be emphasized. It's interesting listening to 9 to 5 everyday women, right? Regular, degular, everyday black women who speak as if they know better than Taraji P. Henson or Carrie Hilson or any number, Wendy Williams, or any number of women who have been in Hollywood for 2 and 3 decades plus. It's interesting listening to everyday, regular, degular women, oftentimes under the age of 40, talking about women whose careers sometimes are older than these young women. You think Taraji didn't rub elbows with white men? You think Lisa Ray didn't rub elbows with white men? Look how long it took Chili to actually get her and land her a white dude, and she ended up and landing her a white dude that's a decade younger than her, not as successful, not as moneyed. And she's had her options open for a couple decades. Y'all think y'all know better than famous rich black women who've been famous and rich for 2 and 3 decades? This level of insanity and delusion just because you mad at black men, just because you're waging a war and a jihad at black men or towards black men or on black men. I got it because it's sometimes you got to state the obvious. Sometimes you got to. Mr. Z will be Captain Obvious. Mr. Z is perfectly okay with being Captain Obvious, and I will be Captain Obvious in this respect and state the most obvious question ever. You think your little 40, 50, $60,000 a year earning self know more about what's going on with rich white men, right? Than Nicki Minaj does, than Wendy Williams does, than Taraji does, than Oprah does? Oprah was in affairs with white dudes. How she still ended up with Stedman? What you think she know that you don't know? Hmm? Condoleezza Rice been rubbing elbows with these dudes for how long? She still don't got a white husband yet. God damn, Z. Why didn't Michelle marry a white man? Oops. Michelle Obama, that is. These women are telling you through actions what these white dudes are on or aren't on, and y'all still don't get it. Or you do get it, and that's why y'all are telling Taraji to shut up. That's why y'all feel a certain level of cringe. So many people in Yanni's comment section think that Taraji's problem is that she's professed her love for black men. If she would just expand her options, if she would just date out, pause. So we have another woman who the black manosphere probably wouldn't call an ally, but this young woman told you herself, them white guys ain't what you think they are. Go ask the white women. And who was that person, Mr. Z? Amanda Seals herself. Miss Intellectual Misandrist herself told y'all stop telling her that her problem is she's not dating out. This is a person that tried to imply sexual assault from a black man. And that woman told you, other black women, to stop telling her that if her problem is she's not dating out, her options are not open. Right? How often? The reason why this matters is once again, we have people that are miserable, who aren't happy, who are attempting to practice celibacy. They're trying to deal with their own loneliness, right? And so they're producing content, and them and their subscribers are talking crap because they don't know what they're talking about. So they're just talking, you know? Yanni is what? Late 20s, early 30s, somewhere like that? And she thinks she know better than Taraji? Her subscribers around the same age think they know better than Taraji does? Her problem is that she loves black men too much. If she would just date out, this is verification that we need to just date out. All through the comments is the same thing. Like y'all know better than Taraji P. Henson, who been in Hollywood for what, 3 decades? Yeah, y'all know better. And even for the women that want us to extend Taraji some grace, or want those black women to extend Taraji some grace, even they still sound retarded. Y'all gotta remember, Taraji's from a different generation. She don't know about divestment. She don't know about swirling. Right? So the problem still is, yeah, we need to extend some grace to Taraji because she just hasn't really considered that how much happier she would be if she would open up her options. We need to extend her grace. It's our generation that said, burn the cape. Taraji's generation, of Xers, they're not on that. But us millennials and Gen Z, it's going to be so much better for us. Tick tock, tick tock. For most of us millennials and Gen Z, we're all in our 20s and 30s. I hope for y'all sake y'all right. To all you ladies, I hope, black women, I hope for your sake you're right. For your sake, right? And Michael Ross, thank you for the super sticker. Thanks, right? I hope for y'all sake y'all right. And another thing, Yanni is engaging in. So Yanni played a little bit of the clip with Shmakonage speaking to Scott Galloway also kind of throwing it in black men's faces, like, haha, and men's faces in general, like, ha, look how many of y'all are single, look how many of y'all are not doing well, ha ha ha. It sounds good now, right? It sounds good now. You know, this is why I stress often that we need to remember these people's names, remember what they've said, sometimes screenshot memes that they post or video record some of the things they're saying now so that we can remember this in a decade, in 15 years, in 2 decades. For those of us that will still be alive and these people will still be alive, we can remind them and their subscribers what they said 2 decades ago. And that doesn't mean you don't grow and mature and whatnot, but oftentimes, particularly with celebrities and influencers, um, and notable people, politicians, going back forever, right? They say things and maybe they evolve. Maybe they evolve. But what they initially said still stays in the ether, right? It still stays relevant. It's things that people throw in others' faces, even though these people have retracted what they said a decade ago, 2 decades ago, even though their life may show something different. You know, I'm reminded of the clip. I think it's from The Crew. No, it wasn't from the. Was it from The Crew or was it from King Riches? I can't remember where the young lady said Beyonce was her model, and because Beyonce's so independent, and the brother broke down how Beyonce is selling y'all something she never lived. Right? He didn't mention the part of her pretty much going from her dad to her husband, but still, Beyonce ain't never been no independent woman. She sold y'all to the left, to the left. She sold y'all soldier. She sold y'all all of this. And she never been that person. Likewise, you get that from Paris Milan. She's selling y'all this. She married to a black man. Now he's not ADOS, but she's married to a black man, right? She telling you how about it she is and how live she is and whatever. And the second she runs into some controversy, she turns her channel off because she's afraid of even how she's going to react to what's going on. Chrissy finally tell y'all she's on some what polygynous thing or polyamory or whatever she's on. But she's telling you to get with the most ballerific dude. You think she's just giving up the vagina to rich dudes? And now Yanie. So last time I checked, Yanie was single and she was celibate. Last time I checked. Now that might have changed, right? So you have this person who's potentially single and celibate and miserable and unhappy. And everything she's putting up now and recently is to get others to go along with her with being single and finding the love in yourself. And you got to love yourself. Translation: prepare yourself to be single indefinitely, miserable indefinitely, and be at peace with that because I'm doing it, right? And KW Don says black women blew a gasket when Tabitha Brown retired her husband from the LAPD. Didn't they? Didn't they? Y'all know one of Mr. Z's favorite quotes: the internet will expose us all, right? In reality, we're going to expose ourselves. And this is the problem with a certain cohort of black women. They're exposing themselves. Anything that look like it might be, and this is really a feminist tenet, right? Don't do anything for the express pleasure of men. And most black women don't know that's a feminist tenet. They've never heard that before, but look at their actions. They're living it. They're living it. For you to see a celebrity who's all Christian like and holy and whatever, and she felt like doing her husband a solid because of what he was able to do for the family was to retire him, for you to then turn around, just like Wendy Williams at the time. Yeah, I remember Wendy Williams having an issue with that because it didn't work out for her. For you to have an issue with that and then go around the internet railing against this and hoping that her husband understand what was going on. These women were hoping that this would blow up in Tabitha's face. Do you understand how miserable of a person you got to be to say, because you didn't do this thing the way I think you should do it, which is wage war against black men, I hope what you retiring your husband, not your friend, not your boyfriend, your husband, after he took care of the family the best he could, you retiring him, I hope it blows up in your face because I want to wage a war against black men. So I hope every time any one of you black women do something positive for a black man, I hope it blows up in your face. You know how sick you got to be to believe in that? For we had our own talk about Taraji over here. Mr. Z has mentioned her plenty of times and kind of, what we see going on with her. But for many to turn around and take that on the women's side to say, well, you see, this is why you should date out. You see, this is why you shouldn't be loyal to black men. This is why you shouldn't swear your allegiance to black men. You know, this is why you need to find inner peace in yourself. The problem is that you need to find inner peace in yourself. The problem is we're too male identified. The problem is that, we're doing too much. And you know what's really sick? These people are so preparing their subscribers to be single. It's not even single with a kid. Yanni plays a clip of a young lady. She looks somewhat racially ambiguous, although she could just be like one of those more Mediterranean whites, right? She doesn't look straight up Anglo. There's a bit of a tan to her. But she plays a clip of this young lady speaking about how miserable she is, like how she hates being a mother. She's a mother to a newborn. I think when she filmed it the first time, I can't remember, but the second time, I think the child was 5 months old. And she spoke about how miserable it made her, how she wasn't happy. She hated it, hated being a mother. And Yanni plays this as a way of, I guess, saying you need to find peace in yourself, or you need whatever Yanni was saying. But it all comes down to be prepared, be single and miserable. So I guess what millennials and Gen Z women are telling themselves, regardless of race, but particularly for Black women, is we're not going to make the mistakes of our parents and our grandparents, right? We're going to not have kids too. So not only are we going to have crappy relationships with men, we ain't going to have kids also. Can somebody say Mouse Utopia Project or Mouse Utopia Experiment? Where's BGS and Nameless when you need them? Right? Yanni also plays a clip. It looks like of a Muslim man speaking about, societies chastising women for not having children, not getting married, not being mothers and wives. And the man is saying, why would they? They saw it not work for their grandmother. They saw it not work for their mother. They saw it not work for generations past. Why would they? Translation. This is another one of those invest in yourself, worry about yourself, hyper. This is how women engage with hyper individuality. You know, this is one of those situations where you have to ask the whoever the sociologists or technocrats or whoever these people are, but particularly the people that critique the Black manosphere, you have to ask them, okay, so we talk about men and Black men's hyper individuality. We speak about how this thing is detrimental to society, how it can't work. Ain't nobody investigating what hyper individuality looks like coming from women, particularly Black women, right? How do you maintain a society when you have more and more bitter, angry young women trying to make other women bitter and angry and lonely and single and content with it, even though we know they're not even going to be content? Forget happy, they're not even going to be content. And we know that because we see how angry y'all get and how irate you get when other women, right, speak about how they're not happy being single because you're waging a war against men, Black men. You're irate that other women tell you how unhappy they are or imply or suggest how unhappy they are being single, that they're actually lonely. That's pathetic. You're mad at a celebrity. Let's get it right. We got to say it one more time. I'm going to say it more than once, but we got to say it one more time. You have an issue with a celebrity outright saying, implying, suggesting that they're not happy. They're not content. They have a fake smile on their face. Where's their man? You have a problem with that because you have a problem with men. You have a problem with black men. Y'all think the solution is that Taraji needs to open up her options, as if Taraji hasn't been in Hollywood for 30 years. Or at least, what, 25, 28 years, something like that? Carrie Hilson been in rubbing elbows in that space. Look at all of these women, whether they've been married to the white guy or not. Y'all realize that Ashton Kutcher damn near slammed the door in Rihanna's face? Oh, y'all forgot Ashton Kutcher and Rihanna had a little thing, a little fling. She messed up a little bit, brought paparazzi to the house. He never talked to her again. And so you think that the issue is that black women don't open up their options enough. Black celebrity and rich women, women that rub elbows with the richest, most successful white men in America, so arguably on the planet. Famous, rich, attractive men. You think the problem is that those black women who have way more access to the men you covet than you do, you think their problem is that they're too loyal to black men. I don't know how much more blatant to say it than that. You think these women are so loyal that they're rubbing elbows with the most rich, successful, famous men on the planet. And the reason why they don't end up with that man is because they're too loyal to black men. Not because they realize how racist these dudes are. Not because they realize that these dudes would rather just be with white women. They have an archetype or a type that they find attractive, and that's what they go after. Right? And now we have content creators like Yanie just preparing y'all to be single. So you got Yanie on one side and Juicy on the other side. Right? So more of an academic leaning to, hey, don't put all your stock on these men. Right? This is where Kim Foster comes in also. Let's bring back we don't need these Negroes feminism. And when this doesn't work, and when throwing in men's faces how not well they're doing doesn't work, and when the game starts to flip around that 35, 40 age mark for most women, when that game flips, where are all these content creators going to be? Where's Paris going to be? Where is Yanie going to be? Where's Kim Foster going to be? Right? Talking all of this. So, for those of you that checked out the clip, like I said, she played a bunch of stuff to pretty much justify why you should either be single, right? Be content or happy with being single. Don't put your stock in these men. Work on yourself. And by the way, nothing wrong with any of this on its face. Nothing wrong with working on yourself on its face. Nothing wrong with investing in yourself, working on your hobbies, working on your craft, right? But an excuse to be single and content with it, yeah, nah, that ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work because it's not working now. It's not a coincidence that Kevin Samuels' channel blew up during COVID-19 when women, were sitting at home with nothing but their box wine. That's not a coincidence. That lonely women kept on calling in. And let's not forget, half of those women were open to dating out. Not all of those women were, air quotes, race loyal. Hmm, that's not a coincidence. Because the second they got to sit at home with no dude, no love, God forbid it made it even worse if they had money. You want to know why? Because if they had money, they weren't moving back home with their parents. That means that they had to stay in that apartment by themselves for months on end. It made it worse if they had money. You got your own apartment, you got your own house to yourself, two, three bedrooms to yourself, right? That apartment to yourself, two rooms, all you could do is Netflix and chill by yourself. Yikes. See, that's the part that Yanie won't speak about, right? That's the part Chrissy won't speak about. Look, all of them are trying to cop please. So now Yannie's slowly moving to F these black men to be prepared to be single, because if Yannie is listening and watching the things Mr. Z is, she know what's coming down the pike. The she economy revealed that years ago. Morgan Stanley report on the she economy and the fact that 45% of these women would be single and childless already revealed that. If Yanni know anything about that, she's just trying to say it in her own way. Be prepared, just invest in yourself. These women are going to be miserable. And that's not something Mr. Z is wishing. I want to say this once again. This is not a wish. It's not even a prediction. If the rich white dudes, the investors, are saying this is how they make their money, by forecasting these things, and they're saying it. Oh yeah, this is not a wish. I'm not wishing this on women, or black women specifically. This is what it's going to be, right? So we could make fun of, and that's what Yanni's doing on her channel. We could make fun of and poke fun of the men. Ha ha, look at them. Single men are violent. Single men. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that sound nice. You could keep on poking fun. We know how this ends, right? We know how this ends. And Mr. Z will continue to cover these people who speak this way, think it's funny, are profiting off of other women, particularly black women's misery. I will state the obvious. Sometimes other people are saying it, sometimes other people are not. I will state the obvious so that as we progress, we can remind these people, hey, you kind of know why you're in that situation, right? So that we could show the other young ladies that's going to come up behind them, don't listen to your miserable ass aunt. This is what she was on 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Rich auntie is actually just stable auntie. She makes 60 grand a year and she's miserable. And that's why she's always trying to take your mom on day trips. Right? So we could show those young ladies, look at your aunt. Go check her bathroom cabinet and look at all the antidepressant pills. That's not a wish Mr. Z is making. What they said, 23% of women over the age of 40, or over the age of 50, right? Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Prime says, Auntie isn't rich, LOL. Auntie isn't rich. Auntie just got lucky. She finally paid those student loans off at 45 years old. And now she earned a little $65,000 a year. She finally finished paying off her bins, her secondhand bins, but it's still nice. And so now the money is flowing a little easier at 50 years old. So that 65 hit different now that the bins is paid off and the student loans are paid off. But she ain't rich. She could give you $1,000 because she ain't struggling the way she was 5 and 10 years ago. but she's not rich, right? She's not rich, she's not happy, and she's not content. And little do you know, one of those dudes that go to school with you is going through and knocking the cobwebs out of auntie twice a month. One of the guys you go to university with that you don't know is he works with your aunt and he's rolling through and knocking the cobwebs out of auntie twice a month. Sometimes you got to state things so obviously for people so that when they find themselves in that position, especially people that either you don't know or you there's no reason for you to say these things in a malice way, so that when they find themselves in that position, they can remember, oh crap, I remember I got mad 5, 7 years ago. There used to be this dude or this dude online named Mr. Z, and he said this, and I'm living it. Oh, I just did it. I was so mad when I heard that dude the first time I heard him say that. Let me see if he still got a channel, right? And Ryan James said, Auntie named her Rose vibrator after Michael B. Jordan. Hysterical, right? And it's not some it's actually to me, to Mr. Z, it's a little sad, right? It's a little sad that we're in the place now where you would think these content creators been making money and have had their channels for a while, and they need to save face. See, the whole thing of having a problem with Taraji speaking the way she has recently is that y'all trying to save face. Y'all have an issue with, and I'm speaking about the ladies. You have an issue with Taraji speaking the way she does, and other content creators and other, actors, or excuse me, actresses. You have a problem with them speaking that way because you're trying to save face. You don't want black women to say, hey, we need black men. We love black men. You're cringing because you're waging jihad against black men. You don't think black men deserve that type of adoration, that type of love, that type of care, and definitely not out loud. It makes you cringe. Where's your white husband? Fine, you're cringing. Where is your white husband? Right? Taraji was vulnerable. She said the quiet part out loud, and now y'all are cringing. And as Mr. Z says all the time, you remember the faces, remember the names, remember the people that had y'all on this, right? Remember the people that had y'all on this that speak this way. Remember Yannie. Remember Yannie in 15 years. Remember that you used to listen to her when you were in college, when you were in high school, when you were at work typing away in the cubicle. Remember Chrissy. Remember Paris. Remember them. This lady literally played a clip of a mother speaking about how miserable or how unhappy, or not even, let's say the word she said. Yanni played a video of a young woman with her toddler. She had like those, the baby carrier that you put on your chest, right? And the baby faces away from you, but the baby carrier you put on your chest. This lady is literally cursing up a storm, dropping the F bomb in front of her toddler son. Her son is only 5 months old. And she's speaking about how much she hates being a mother in front of her child who's only 5 months old. and Yanie thought that was okay to play. Mr. Z, why do you keep on covering these people? You don't see how toxic that is? You thought, and from the video that Yanie plays has like 30, the video that Yanie made has like 37,000 views. So pretty much 40,000 views. You thought it was okay to play a video of a young mother who might be going through some type of postpartum depression type thing. You thought it was okay to play her saying how much she hates being a mother, dropping the F bomb in front of her newborn. I kept on saying toddler. Sorry, not toddler, her newborn. As your way of justifying your little celibacy and your misery being single. Because what you thought, Yanni, let's go through what Yanni probably thought. Mr. Z is going to put a whole lot of stuff. I don't know her. I don't even know if this is true, but I'm going to say it. Yanni thought because she lost weight, she was going to come out here in this game and get whatever type of dude she wanted. Yikes. Yanni, you still an asshole, though. Yikes. So, yeah, you lost weight and the curves are sitting right now, right? I see you with all the makeup when you're on camera and the hair is laid, and you're still an asshole, a sassy asshole. So you went from being a pudgy asshole to now you're a fit, curvaceous asshole. Earth. Earth sits asshole. Right? Dear ladies, the looks is what gets you. Looking good makes it a little bit easier for you to get in the door. That doesn't mean you can look good and be an asshole. Being attractive to men, all this light skin stuff, and oh, I'm thick and I'm light. Yeah, okay, it makes it just a smidge easier for you to get in the door. Especially if you're dealing with dudes that got options, and you can't be no, yeah, you're attractive. They have dozens of attractive women chasing after them. You can't be an asshole. Oh, this is you. Oh, this is your YouTube channel. All right, all right, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. Never gets called again. Yanni, I know you making some real money on YouTube. So you making some real money on YouTube, and you think white or black dudes, they gotta check out your channel, and you gotta say what? Oh, I ain't talking about guys like you. This is why you gotta end up with a white dude. I get it, Yanni. I get why you said what you said recently. You gotta end up with a white dude because at least for the white dude, you can make the excuse of, oh, well, you know, this is me just talking about black men. This is me just getting back at black men. Because not all of y'all could be Paris. Not all of y'all could have a channel talking crap about black men and then still end up with a black man. Only a minority of y'all can pull that off. Right? Only a handful of y'all could pull that off. Crystal and Karazin spent how long talking crap about black men and she had a white husband and it still didn't work out. Now she looking like a drunk auntie in front of her laptop. Trying to get answers about swirling and divesting from Chat GPT. What a loser. And shout out to all of you who think you're going to be the rich auntie. No, you're going to be the drunk auntie drinking on box wine. Because you spent your 20s and your 30s listening to miserable 20 and 30 something year old women, listening to Yanie and Chrissy and Paris. Well, Paris is even worse because she don't even believe in what she's selling. At least Yanie kind of believe in what she's selling, and Chrissy kind of believe in what she's selling. Paris don't even believe in what she's selling. She's just doing anything to make money. So you played a Middle Eastern man or whatever he is with the British accent speaking about why would women want to do what their foremothers did? It didn't work for them, so why would they do it? Dear Mr. Whoever you are, I would like to direct you to the black community in America where younger boomers and extra women did exactly what you're saying, and guess what? They no happier than the women who actually got married and had children. Yikes. Does Vivica A. Fox look happy to y'all? Oops. What happened? Right? We got a couple of black women, definitely notable ones, celebrity ones, that's never been married, have no children. They did what this guy is saying. They didn't get married, or they were only married once and then divorced. Right? And it didn't work either. It's interesting. Like we're watching these women marry themselves literally. We're watching that. And then these people still saying, well, you know what the problem is? We're too male identified. That's the problem. We need to find inner peace. We need to love ourselves. Maya literally married herself. Maya literally married herself. What are y'all talking about? Yanni talking like she giving advice. You're not giving no advice. You preparing your subscribers to be single and miserable, but keep a stiff upper lip because you got to remember we waging a war against the black men. So no matter how miserable you are, keep that to yourself. And that's what that video was really there for. Let's cut to it. You know, it took me about 45 minutes to get to it. The video that Yanni produced was there just to tell women, I don't care how miserable you are, keep it to yourself. We waging a war against the black men. We don't want the black men to use this as ammo. Taraji is too famous and too rich to be telling the world how unhappy she is that she don't have a man. She's making us look bad. That's what that video was for. And you know that's how you want to know how you know that's what that video is for? Because if you go through the comments, that's exactly what her subscribers are saying. They know, everybody know what this is. Taraji showed a side, she showed her vulnerable side. She didn't directly say anything about men in her Angie Martinez interview, but apparently a interview before, a little time before, she did say something about where's my man, and it made this collective of swirler and divester adjacent women cringe because she actually said the quiet part out loud. She actually said it. So in the Angie Martinez interview, even though we know that's what the real problem is, because she didn't say it in the Angie Martinez video, everybody could play plausible deniability. But in this other video, she actually did say it. Right? And thank you, Leon, for the super chat. And Leon says, coffee money to my leftist bro. Thank you. Right? And Detro says, suffer in silence. That's exactly what they're saying. Rest in peace, Malcolm X. Suffer in silence. That's exactly what Yanni was pretty much saying. She ain't say it, but that's what the message her subscribers got. Suffer in silence. Right? And Indigo says Vivica got the permanent sister girl scowl. You see me? Those ladies know what Yanni was trying to get at. Suffer in silence. Don't come out here in the real world. And please, for the love of God, don't say black men. Don't say don't say anything about men. Don't ask where your man is. And please, for the love of God, don't say, God send me a good black man. Don't say that in anywhere earshot or sight shot of a camera. Please don't say it because black men are going to take that and run with it. Please, you got to remember we're waging a war against them. And by the way, that was Kim Foster's issue with Brittany Renner, right? That's Kim Foster's biggest issue with Brittany Renner. Stop letting these black men feel like they got a couple of points on the board because y'all telling them that, yeah, you know what, you might got a point here. Yeah, you know what? So Brittany Renner is young and now she's trying to take some accountability because she's hoping that one day she could get back on Mount Olympus. And Taraji is middle aged and she's trying to reevaluate herself, even though she's supremely rich and famous. She's trying to find peace in being single. You know, her son is grown, and y'all have an issue with these women because you're waging a war against black men, right? And King Camo says, the congregation of Yanie, bow, now pass the plate. He also says, you don't need these nakers, ladies, now pass the plate. Money, money, money. Exactly, right? And, tying this to what, like Mr. Z likes to paint these kind of larger social ramifications, this is going to be a big issue. I said going to be. Wrong. It's already an issue. These content creators, remember, okay, Yanni has 200 plus thousand subscribers. This video already has almost 40,000 views. These are the people that you're interacting with every day. The young women watching this come in various shapes, sizes, and ages. Mainly millennials and Gen Z, but various shapes, sizes, and ages. Listening to Yanni pretty much tell them, hey, don't be coming out here telling these men how miserable you are without them. Keep a stiff upper lip. Keep your keep your game face on and cry in silence. Suffer in silence. Try to find the inner peace in yourself. And this is only what 2 weeks from 2 or 3 weeks from Kim Foster saying, let's bring back these, we don't need these Negroes feminism. You see this steady drumbeat? It's a steady drumbeat of, yo, we gotta keep our game face on. Too many of y'all are slipping into the dark side of telling these black men maybe they got a point, right? We got to keep our PR campaign war against them going. And Lion said, reading the comments in that vid now. Hey, you'll see some ladies. It's interesting how they're coming to it, but some of the ladies are pretty much saying, she showed a sign of vulnerability. Why are we ripping her apart? They're acting like they don't know. And it's even more frightening in this respect if they actually don't know. You don't know why they want to save face because they have an issue with Taraji saying this out loud for black men to hear. That's why they would rather her not show her vulnerability. They would rather her die and choke off of that loneliness. Let me be very clear. Let me be dark with it real quick. These women would rather Taraji die of an overdose than say out loud that she's not happy because she don't got no man. They would rather see her die than say that out loud. And I'm not joking. I'm not being hyperbolic. Let me say the ugly part out loud. They would rather her overdose on antidepressant pills than say what she said. Because at least they could play plausible deniability. because that's what they were doing with the Angie Martinez interview, right? Y'all don't know it's because of a man. Y'all don't know. Everybody know it's because of a man. And now that Yanni played that other clip where she said, "Where's my man?" Yeah, we all know it. Even if Taraji comes right now and says, "Yeah, it's not because of no man." Yeah, that's not what you were saying a few months ago. We all know what it is. And Lions can't keep that poker face anymore. Man, they want these celebrity black women, these famous rich black women, to keep that poker face forever. They want them to keep that poker face forever because they live vicariously through them. These everyday women live vicariously through these celebrity women, right? And let's be clear, you know, O'Shea responded to Yanni, right? This was maybe a week ago, something like that. Yanni been responding back to O'Shea at least 2 or 3 times now. That's why she played the clip from CNN. Pretty much say, hey, hey, y'all the ones who's not happy. Let's see. That's why I keep on telling y'all, yeah, they're waging a jihad war against black men using you, ladies. Dear black women, Yanni, Chrissy, Paris, Mahogany Pink, Lexus Exodus, you name them. They're waging a jihad war against you. Cynthia G, they're waging a war against, excuse me, yeah, well, against you too, because in the long run, it's going to be against you, but they're waging a jihad war. Waging a jihad because jihad is war. They're waging a jihad against black men using you and your sensibilities. Exactly, King Camo. And King Camo says because it shows a crack in the facade, a slip of the mask. That's why they need these ladies to keep the poker face. Keep the mask on, right? Don't undress yourself in front of the men. Don't let the men undress you. Don't let them know what you really feel. Don't let them know what you really think, especially if what you feel and think somehow can be used against the collective of black women, particularly this swirler divester sect. Don't let them know that you're miserable and lonely. Don't let them know that you wish you had somebody you could hug up with. Don't let them see your tears. Don't let them see that you're vulnerable. And definitely, definitely, definitely don't let them know that you want a black man specifically. For the love of God, whatever you do, ladies, please don't let these men know you want a black man. Not out loud, right? For the love of God. You know what, Lion? I will do a stream tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna be doing I'm just gonna try to see how long I can go doing morning streams. So Lion said you dropping a link. I'll try to do a stream. So look out for me doing a stream tomorrow morning, right? So we could talk about this tomorrow morning also, right? And Timmy Fields said, well, thank you for the super sticker, Timmy Fields. Thank you, right? And better you says, oh, you mean the white supremacists, the white supremacists, they throat but treat them like trash, pretty much, right? Whatever you do, black women, don't show black men that you care or you want them to notice you or you want them to hug you and love you, whatever you do, because we're waging a war against them. Remember, we're trying to throw white men in their face. Remember, we're trying to throw non-black men in their face. Remember, we're trying to tell them we don't need them and we don't want them. Remember, ladies, for the love of God, whatever you do, do not let these men know. And so Taraji gets caught up in that, right? And y'all give me a second. Y'all talk amongst yourself. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So I did that because I wanted to go read one of the comments, and the comment said Tachina Arnold, Nia Long, Regina King. Yeah, those women are we're taking notes. They're taking notes. I had to go back because I remember reading it. I didn't remember the names. We're taking notes. They're taking notes. They're taking notes. They see these women as desperate losers that should have never been trying to only date white men. Let me get this right. Nia Long been in Hollywood for how long? Black men been praising how Nia Long looks for 30 years. Where are all the white men talking about how great Nia Long looks? I'll wait. So y'all mad that Nia Long wants to be with a black man? Black men have been complimenting Nia Long for 30 years. Y'all are weird. Chino Arnold, right? Because people find her attractive in the black community, lets you know it ain't just a color thing, right? And y'all mentioned Vivica A. Fox. As bad as Vivica A. Fox is, she know them white guys ain't checking. How many movies has Vivica A. Fox been with white men? She knows. She know better than y'all know. See, and that's how this is how certain people get away with this, and these particular women get away with this type of talk because they speak as if extra women and younger boomer women, they were just too caught up in loving black men and having black men love them. And if they would have just opened up their options, everything would have been okay because they would have been able to be whisked away by some rich, famous white dude. How many of these black women have been on set with, work with, done movies with, been backstage with, been partying with in Hollywood with these white guys? They've been on set with these dudes for months on end. Months, right? They've been with these men for months on end, right? And you think the reason they're not with a white guy is because they've sworn their allegiance to black men? That's the reason why? That's the only reason why, right? Oh, yeah. Tachina Arnold, and better use says Tachina Arnold caught flack not too long ago for calling out sisters' role in emasculated black men or emasculating black men. Yeah, I know the correction. Yeah. Of course she did. And the fact that she's a darker skinned black woman makes it even worse because she's supposed to be team hate these Negroes forever. She's supposed to be team hate these Negroes forever. She's definitely supposed to be team I date out because black men didn't appreciate my color and my excuse me, my features. Oh, they hate that. A dark-skinned black woman swearing her allegiance to black men and actually chastising black women? Oh no, you definitely not. First of all, any black woman not supposed to do that, but particularly a dark-skinned black woman. No, dark-skinned black women are supposed to say, "You know what happened? I was picked on, and I felt a certain way about Martin and his jokes on when we used to be on set, and he took it. Let me tell you the one time he took it too far." Y'all remember the interview? I think it was on the Breakfast Club also, where they asked her if she felt a certain way about the jokes and about the contrast in skin tone. And she was like, "No, we was just making jokes." You know how many, first of all, more than half of the brothers I know found Tashina Arnold more attractive than what's her name. If you had to make us pick, it would be her. Dr. Thunder. Dr. Thunder said, merch, team hate these Negroes forever. Great t-shirt idea. You see me? Right? Team hate these Negroes forever. I'm telling you. Especially a dark-skinned black woman who was on set with Martin and he just was throwing zingers at her all the time. And then she could have turned around and tell y'all, oh, it was just a joke. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. She was supposed to come back and say, yeah, I felt a certain way, but at the time I was making money and I couldn't say it. And da, 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 da. Thank you, Indigo. And Indigo said, I was just about to say, Mr. Z, just about everybody thought Pam was finer. For real. I was always Team Pam as a kid. Pam over Gina. Always. And my girl is light skinned. My lady in real life is a light skinned black woman. And I was always Pam over Gina. And I was always Team Kelly Rowland over Beyonce. I didn't do that just because Kevin. Nope. Anyone who knows Mr. Z from high school and college will always tell you Mr. Z was always Kelly Rowland over Beyonce. I didn't do that color stuff. If it was a light-skinned black woman that was more attractive, she was more attractive. If it was a dark-skinned black woman, she was more attractive. It was caramel, she was more attractive. Y'all ain't saying nothing about all the brothers that was drooling over Lupita. Now, did y'all? Oh, but her features, she has smaller nose. Now we got to go into featureism. You can't say texture because she has, normal black woman hair, 4C hair. So now her nose, she's more slender. And now we're talking about featureism. You'll just keep on moving the goalpost. We don't really think Kevin means what he's saying about Kelly Rowland. We think he's just saying that so that we don't say anything about colorism. Jesus Christ. Right? And now you have this woman, and I see, Yanie trying to make an in run against the type of stuff that I put out. Not saying she's a subscriber, but trying to justify her misery and loneliness and other subscribers that she has misery and loneliness with. Well, you look how dangerous these men are when they're single. You see, it's not us because so Chrissy put out a video pretty much saying you too to black men in the black manosphere. In other words, y'all doing it for the money too, so that's Chrissy. Yanni's now doing the whole, look, y'all not happy neither, and y'all are dangerous when y'all not happy. Y'all are miserable, and when y'all are miserable, y'all are, at least we not dangerous when we're miserable. Y'all are messing up the kids when you're miserable. Yikes. See, your violence isn't instant. It's long term. When you send broken little girls and little boys to school that become grown women and men, your nukes don't explode now. They explode in 10, 15, 20 years. That's the difference, Yanni. Your customer service is the problem, Yanni. That's because you're miserable. The way you snap at people is the problem, Yanni. That's because you're miserable. You want to talk about violence. If you're only talking physical violence, that's a conversation to be had. But if you want to talk about violence overall, oh, thank you, Mr. Me Too. Delayed destruction. Exactly. And that's all it is. It's trying to make an in run against the type of stuff that I put out, against the type of stuff that O'Shea puts out and BGS puts out, right? And the Roger Report puts out and Dr. Thunder puts out. It's just trying to make an in run against all of that type of thing. We're not. Look how violent y'all are. Look. You said we're not happy and miserable and single. Look, you're self-deleting and you're doing this and that. That's because we really mean it. Y'all slit your wrists as a cry of help because you're too cowardly to actually go through with it. God damn, Mr. Z. You're hoping that some man will stop your hand and save you from you. See, I wasn't supposed to go that dark now, was I? That's what all the antidepressant pills are. Because you don't got the ovaries to actually go through with it. For real, for real. And I'm not telling you should, by the way, Mr. Z is not advocating for self deletion. But I am saying if you want to talk about it, then let's talk about it. Yikes, Leon. Yikes. Yikes. And Leon says women love talking about violence until the conversation is directed towards children. Ooh. And who are they more likely to be violent towards when it comes to their children? Their sons or their daughters? Oopsie. Who are they more likely to delete? Their sons or their daughters? Yikes. Ugh. Which would make a whole lot more sense about why Yanie played the video of the lady dropping the F bomb in front of her 5-month-old son and saying how much she hated being a mother. Ooh. Looks like we got a problem here. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Looks like we got a problem here. Right? So, you know, let's just, in summation of everything I said, I will continue to cover these people because of how dangerous they are. Right? And I will make sure that the Richard Reeves of the world and the FD signifiers of the world and the Scott Galloways of the world can stop pretending like it's just the miserable men who are self deleting and it's the miserable men who are harming women and children and completely ignoring these people, right? We're going to stop pretending like these people don't exist. And their rhetoric is not just as harmful, if not more. Why would it be more, Mr. Z? Because it's going unaddressed. Because people like FD Signifier are like, yeah, I mean, it's small. It's not that serious. I mean, y'all are louder, y'all are bigger. Yeah. Right? Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Excuse me. Right? So we got to be honest about what we're actually seeing. And y'all give me a second. Y'all give me a second. Oh, just seen that too. Oh, thank you for the cash app, Mr. Me Too. Thank you for the cash app. Right? So we need to make sure that these people, because if the US economy is dependent on children and maybe it's moving away from forming families, but you still need children and you still need women to produce children. Well, the real talk with Yannies are defecating on that, right? The real talk with Yannies are defecating on that because now they're trying to prepare the women to be single. So once again, shout out to Dr. Green Gorilla. So you have this weird brand of feminism preparing the women to be single, and then the rich white dudes on the other hand, shout out to the Morgan Stanley report with the she economy, preparing their investors. Hey, we gotta make some money off of these single, lonely, miserable women. So we even see this replicated in kind of this culture war thing that these, you know, content creators are doing online, right? This culture war against black men, they're preparing these ladies to be single and miserable, and that will have an effect on your economy and on your politics, right? Oh, it most definitely will, right? And KW Dawn says, and thank you for the super chat. KW Dawn says they can go same gender loving, but the DV rates are 44% as opposed to 35% for hetero. You know, we talk about this all the time. We know what the DV rates are. Look, we are becoming an increasingly atomized society, unfortunately. And instead of investigating that and ways to maybe turn that around and doing commentary on that, none of the women on that side are doing it. I mean, none. Like, none. None. Not even Kim. Not even Julesy. Not last time I checked. Right? Not Khadijah. Not any of them. And then even on this side of the whatever swirler divester side, not a single one of them. Once again, the only reason they're part of that sisterhood is, once again, we got to continue to hate these niggas, right? Don't forget, the number one thing here is, as Dr. Thunder said, team hate these Negroes forever, right? Team hate these Negroes forever. That's the only reason they really even friends over there. That's why they stay beefing. Because for 1 second that they're not team hate these Negroes, they start beefing. They don't like each other like that. None of those women over there like each other like that. They've all beefed with each other. All of them. The only thing that unites them is team hate these Negroes. And Lithium said gay men have the lowest DV rates because ain't nobody trying to walk out here with black eyes all the time and broken ribs and arms. Gay men know they will beat the crap out of each other or maybe kill each other. They know what it is. The women, on the other hand, and men have taught to keep their hands to themselves unless they trying to die. Unless you trying to break something or have something broken on you, keep your hands to yourself. Unless you're willing to go to prison or to the morgue, keep your hands to yourself. Men know this. So even I would argue same-sex relationship, that doesn't mean that they don't engage in this sometimes, but we all know what it is, right? The women, on the other hand, not so much, you know? And y'all give me a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Give me 1 second. And I'm back. So yeah, coming to a close, got stuff to do. But yeah, no, this is so I had to put this out. I saw the video, I saw what Miss Yanie said, I saw her trying to cop pleas. I saw her have an issue with what Taraji said, um, and the larger ramifications of having this actress, this well-known, world-famous actress, speak the way she do, and then this content creator have an issue with that, and her subscribers having an issue with that because they want to wage jihad against black men, and they have a problem with a black female celebrity pretty much saying that she's not happy being single, she feels lonely, and you can see her. How you can see how that was sad. That Angie Martinez video was truly sad. You can see Taraji barely hanging on, mentally barely hanging on. And those women saw that, and they saw that moment of vulnerability, and they had a problem with it because it made them cringe. Because damn, y'all telling the black men we ain't happy when we single. What we need to tell Taraji is she need to open up her dating options. She loves black men too much. That's the problem. A black woman who's been in Hollywood for damn near 30 years, you think her problem is that she loved black men too much? That's her problem. And other black women like her who have been in Hollywood for even longer, their problem is that they love black men too much. Get out of here, right? And on that note, I just want to end it on that note, right? It's frightening. It's truly frightening. You know, the other clip that Yanie played with the young lady speaking about, hating being a mother while her 5-month-old is on her chest in the little baby carrier on her chest, dropping the bomb in front of her son, her 5-month-old son. Then she plays the looks like a Middle Eastern dude with a British accent, talking about, yeah, well, women did the whole, excuse me, mother and wife thing for generations and it didn't work, so why are we telling women to do it now? Right? Yanni, could you just admit that you ain't happy being single and whatever you doing over there, so you're trying to bring other women down with you to the depths of hell? And I'll pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Manosphere content, other non-black Manosphere content. So y'all don't sound like these people. And like I said, love, peace, and chicken grease. I'll pause right there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. These people are insane. Absolutely insane. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Mr. Z out.